Hi everyone, today I am telling you the journey of Rolex. It is easy to understand biography and improving your English listening. Let's get started. It all began in 1905, in the bustling streets of London, where a young German entrepreneur named Hans Wilsdorf, only 24 years old, dared to dream of the impossible, a wristwatch that would rival the accuracy and prestige of the best pocket watches. Wilsdorf had a sharp eye for detail, a love of precision, and a belief in practicality. He founded Wilsdorf and Davis with his brother-in-law Alfred Davis to import Swiss watch movements. But Wilsdorf wanted more. He imagined a brand of his own, distinct, elegant, global. After much deliberation, he invented the name Rolex, inspired by the sound of winding a watch and designed to be short, memorable, and universal. By 1910, Rolex had made history, the first wristwatch to receive the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision. In 1914, it earned the prestigious Class A certificate from Kew Observatory, normally reserved for marine chronometers. As war raged and taxes rose in Britain, Wilsdorf made the bold move to relocate Rolex to Geneva, Switzerland in 1919. The city would become Rolex's eternal home, a cradle of horological excellence. Rolex settled into Geneva and quickly set about rewriting the rules of watchmaking. Wilsdorf believed a wristwatch should not only be elegant but resistant to water, dust, and time. In 1926, Rolex introduced a breakthrough, the Oyster case, the world's first waterproof wristwatch. To prove it, Wilsdorf needed a story. That story arrived in the form of Mercedes Gleitzer, a British secretary who attempted to swim the English Channel in 1927. She wore a Rolex Oyster on her wrist. Despite the freezing water, strong currents, and over 10 hours of swimming, the Rolex came out ticking, unscathed. Wilsdorf ran a full-page advertisement in the Daily Mail proclaiming the Oyster's success. It wasn't just a watch anymore, it was a symbol of endurance. Rolex boutique windows soon displayed their watches submerged in aquariums. Rolex watches began to be worn by adventurers, aviators, and athletes. The wristwatch was no longer a fashion accessory, it was a tool for greatness. In 1931, Rolex changed the game again. It launched the perpetual rotor, the world's first reliable self-winding movement. No more manual winding. Just wear it, and the motion of your wrist kept it alive. The Oyster Perpetual became Rolex's backbone, automatic, waterproof, durable. But as World War II swept across Europe, Rolex's focus shifted. Wilsdorf quietly arranged for British prisoners of war to receive Rolex watches on trust, without payment, knowing they'd pay after the war. One story stands out. Corporal Clive James Nutting, imprisoned at Stalag Luft III, of Great Escape fame, wore a Rolex Oyster 3525 chronograph during the escape planning. Wilsdorf's act of trust and loyalty built a reputation money couldn't buy. While other brands chased survival during wartime, Rolex gained honor and loyalty. After the war, Rolex celebrated peace and precision with the launch of the Datejust in 1945. The world's first self-winding watch with a date display that changed automatically at midnight. The 1950s would be Rolex's golden decade. In quick succession, they released Explorer, 1953, built for Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay's historic ascent of Mount Everest. Submariner, 1954, the ultimate diving watch, waterproof to 100 meters. GMT Master, 1955, developed for Pan Am pilots to track multiple time zones. Milgauss, 1956, made for scientists working around magnetic fields, like those at CERN. These weren't luxury trinkets. They were rugged, purposeful tools for professionals. Rolex became the watch of climbers, divers, scientists, pilots, and dreamers. Meanwhile, Rolex's status rose as it quietly transitioned from precision timekeeper to cultural symbol. In 1960, Rolex accomplished the unthinkable. Its deep-sea special survived the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth. It was strapped outside the bathyscaphe Trieste, descending 10,916 meters under crushing pressure. The Rolex emerged intact, its precision undisturbed. In 1963, Rolex introduced the Cosmograph Daytona, built for racing drivers. Actor and race car lover Paul Newman would make it legendary. Today, the Paul Newman Daytona is one of the most valuable vintage watches in the world. Through the 1970s, Rolex stayed true to mechanical mastery while quietly adapting to the quartz crisis. Unlike many brands that vanished, Rolex released a few quartz models but never abandoned its core. Its resilience came from purpose, prestige, and the invisible halo Rolex had built around its crown logo. By the 1980s, Rolex had become more than a watch, it was a status symbol. The Rolex Submariner became a fixture on James Bond's wrist. The date just appeared in presidential portraits. Wall Street power brokers, Hollywood stars, and world leaders all wore the crown. But Rolex didn't just sit on its reputation. It expanded into luxury sports models. Yachtmaster, 1992, Explorer 2. Daytona upgrades. Sea Dweller refinements. It also began making its own cases, bracelets, and movements in-house, creating one of the most vertically integrated luxury companies in the world. Yet the most unique part, Rolex was, and still is, owned by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, our non-profit. Profits go to scientific, cultural, and educational causes. Rolex isn't run by shareholders, it's run by purpose. In the 21st century, Rolex reached new heights of innovation, scarcity, and desirability. Its proprietary materials, like Cerachrom bezels, oyster steel, and Rolsa gold steel mix, enhanced durability and luxury. The movements became more precise, more power efficient, and even more shock resistant. New editions of classics, like the Green, Hulk, Submariner, Pepsi, GMT, and ceramic Daytonas, had waitlists stretching years. Rolex became a symbol not just of wealth, but of achievement. From Formula One to Wimbledon, from deep-sea explorers to Nobel laureates, Rolex was no longer just worn, it was earned. In a world of fast fashion and fleeting trends, Rolex remains timeless. Its crown isn't just a logo, it's a promise of excellence, worn proudly on wrists that shape history. The end. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe.